Hey, everybody. I just wanted to drop in here for a minute at the beginning to share a couple of things. I have been a little bit coy about this on the podcast, but a few months ago, I got a new roommate in the form of an actual human infant. Creating and delivering a child was a wild experience, and I can honestly say that I have had a great time so far. But if you have ever had a kid, you might know that they are both incredibly entertaining and wildly time-consuming, which is why the posting schedule here has been so sporadic. So, what I am going to do is post intermittently through the rest of this summer while I try to build up a bit of a backlog, with the goal of getting back onto a regular schedule in the fall. So thank you so much for bearing with me. It's been a exciting, if distracting, time in our household, and I am developing very strong opinions about the quality of board books these days, which will inevitably filter through onto the show at some point, I'm sure. Also, this is actually a 2-part episode, but Lee and I were having such a great time chatting, and honestly, I was very underslept. I forgot to stop us at the halfway point. So I will be back at the end to apologize for the abrupt cut, and then part 2 will post in a couple of weeks. So, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everyone who has stuck with us through the sort of scheduling uncertainty, shall we say, and I promise that we will all return to something resembling normalcy soon.
Books, 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 books.
Everything is when life is actually just tee-hee.
Joy is for children and dogs.
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 Oh, shin.
You'll hear the tune and you'll immediately be like, oh yeah.
Oh. I wonder what they're talking about.
Watering the blood of... watering your fields with the blood of your enemies in the name of liberty, more or less.
Jesus Christ.
All right. And that's the French national character.
Okay.
All right. Are we ready?
Sure.
Hello and welcome to Didn't Read It, the podcast that wants to water its fields with the blood of its enemies. I am your host, Grace Todd, and with me this week is recurring bestie of the pod and de facto co-host,
Oh.
Lee.
Hello. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
You've been promoted.
Thank you. Do I have any responsibilities? I hope not.
Just to keep showing up.
Okay. Got it. Cool.
Look at you go.
Done.
You're doing it.
CEO girl boss.
You're already here.
Yeah.
You're not leaving.
No, the door has been closed. I cannot leave.
There's no why is there no handle on the inside of the door of your recording studio? It's so weird.
It's fine. It's fine.
We're just gonna slide some meals for you under the. There's like a flap in the door.
Yeah.
You just live in a recording studio now.
It sounds not that bad. You just no responsibilities. You know what I mean?
The depth of the 1,000-yard stare that you immediately adopted. Just like
I'm like, oh, maybe I wouldn't have to pay taxes.
how you doing, babe?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. Same.
Good.
You know, same shit, different day. No, I'm fine. I'm good. All things considered.
I don't know what geopolitics is doing today because I haven't looked yet, but it's probably a thing.
Anything crazy? I don't know. Everything that's happening to Kristi Noem is pretty fun.
Oh, what's happening with Kristi Noem?
I don't know if we have time. That's a different podcast.
Okay.
You look it up. You'll enjoy it.
All right, can you give me like a very brief highlights or?
The big thing that people are talking about is her husband is into the bimboification community, and that was outed online.
You know, I think I saw some stuff about this and had no idea what the context was because
yeah,
I don't know. I'm like, yeah, sure, bimboification.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, you do you, but it's not, everyone's really enjoying that
Yeah.
has developed in her life.
I would enjoy that too.
Yeah.
Well, Godspeed to the bimbos.
Mm-hmm.
Ified and otherwise.
I love bimbos personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
At all stages of,
Mm-hmm. Bimbos, himbos, thembos.
Bimbos born, bimbos made.
Yeah.
May
we all bimb off to the big boob in the sky.
God loves a bimbo.
I think so.
And speaking of bimbos.
Seamless.
It's not relevant.
I believe you. I don't know.
I mentioned in the last episode that I thought we were going to do kind of another detour through the world of war literature.
Okay.
Because it just keeps getting more relevant.
Yeah.
It certainly doesn't seem less relevant.
No.
And listeners may remember that we did like a bit of a survey of World War I English lit.
Mm-hmm.
And last episode, we did a World War I short story from Italy, sort of detoured to mock the Italians again for no reason.
Well,
as I have said before, I'm aiming to be the first podcast with a blood feud with Italy.
Anti-Italian.
Just across the board. Yeah. Don't know why.
Sure.
Anyway, I thought we'd give World War I a break, despite the fact...
World War II. World War II.
No, actually.
Okay.
We're going to... So World War II, the thing is, of the two world wars...
Tell me the thing about World War II.
I will tell you the thing about World War II. In my opinion,
yeah,
I find the literature of World War II interesting, but less timeless.
It's more propaganda-y,
Well,
less angsty.
World War II is so unique
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the ideology and the sort of self-evident goodness of the vanquishing of the Nazi state.
Yeah.
It just kind of throws everything off. And so a lot of the literature that comes out of World War II is either very focused on like the Holocaust, and Holocaust genocide literature is like its own other thing.
Yeah.
Or it's a lot of American and English literature just being like, we're the best. We're the best. It's not a lot of what usually distinguishes war literature, which is like,
oh God,
an examination of
what are we doing?
War.
How did we get here?
And like what it means.
Yeah. Jury's still out on what World War III literature will be like.
World War III literature will be a TikTok playing in a loop on the last phone left in the rubble of the nuclear
coming up
apocalypse.
Soon.
So, I think we kind of forget how much of an aberration World War II is.
That's a good point. Yeah, that makes sense.
In like the grand scheme of wars.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take a little trip back to the 1870s.
Ooh.
To France.
France?
France.
Oh la la.
I would like to take a moment right here at the top to apologize to any of our listeners who can speak French correctly, especially Danica. I'm sorry, Danica.
Sorry, Danica.
I love you. I'm going to do my best with all of the French pronunciations. Lee is going to do not her best.
I'm going to do my worst.
And that just is what it is.
I never took French. So what do you want from me?
Today, we're going to start a feud.
Yeah, we got Italy. We're going for French. France.
With the with the French.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought we would take a little trip through the Franco-Prussian War.
Okay.
And the fiction of Guy de Maupassant.
Guy de Maupassant.
Yes.
I remember sorry, detour immediately. Do you remember the commercials for Muzzy in the 90s?
Yeah.
The one thing I remember from that is the girl goes, "Je suis la jeune fille." Which is, I am a little girl. Whenever I'm like, well, how do you speak French? In my head, I go, "Je suis la jeune fille." Muzzy.
I was very briefly in a Montessori school before my parents ran out of money. And we watched Muzzy. And we also watched Asterix, which is a French children's...
Asterix, isn't that a Van Morrison album? Sorry.
It's a French children's cartoon about the Gauls and the Romans.
Oh.
And if I recall, the Romans are the bad guys.
Of course.
Invading...
Sure, who knows?
France.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's the Gauls.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me? I know nothing.
The French have a long and proud tradition of being invaded by military superpowers.
Yeah. It's good for them.
And a much shorter proud tradition of being a military superpower.
Yeah.
It didn't last long, but they gave it the old college try, you know?
Lee.
So, Lee, what do you know about the Franco-Prussian War?
Based on what you've told me so far, I think it happened at about the 1870s.
Okay.
Is that accurate?
1870.
1870.
Literally 1870,
well,
yes.
And it was between France and what would become Germany, correct?
So it was between France and one of the German kingdoms, tiny kingdoms,
yeah,
that became part of United Germany,
right?
Eventually,
yeah.
And Prussia was like the ultimate war nerd. Prussia was like super militaristic.
Yeah,
that was like their whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And France was kind of coming off the high of being a proper military superpower under Napoleon.
Mm-hmm.
And then that didn't work out. Yeah. And by the time, by the Franco-Prussian War, we're on Napoleon III.
Okay.
And what basically happens is France declares war on Prussia.
Okay.
Which they were maybe probably baited into doing.
Yeah.
Because
I want to ask why, but like, who knows?
Well, essentially, there is a popular and fairly well-founded theory that they were baited into declaring war by the leader of Prussia, who knew that if France declared war on Prussia, it would kind of push the other German states into banding together. That basically it would be like the last push needed for German unification to happen.
Okay.
He was right, actually. It worked. It worked a treat.
Okay.
From the Prussian end of things.
Yeah.
What it did not work a treat for was France. It didn't go well.
Well.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been so reactive.
Yeah. So they declared war on Prussia. The war itself played out over months, not years. It was like very short.
Yeah.
Napoleon III, the emperor of the time, got captured.
No.
In like a matter of months.
Yeah. Yeah.
France scurried into like forming a de facto temporary government that became the foundation of the Third Republic, which was then the government that endured until the 40s.
Yeah.
It's tough because it's like Napoleon III and the Third Republic, but it's the end of the Second Empire and the beginning of the Third Republic.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's
history is not my strong side.
No, you're fine. But the moral of the story is that like France is in like an extremely messy period where you've got people who are pro empire and pro Napoleon. Like you've got Bonapartists, you've got Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is in flux.
Yeah.
There's really no telling at this juncture who's going to come out on top. You've been invaded by Prussia. Right. So they declare war on Prussia, and basically immediately what
Prussia's
happens
like,
is
cool. Go.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. It's like a nerd being like, I'm finally gonna get it. I'm gonna show this jock what for, and the jock being like, great, and just like stepping on his head.
Yeah.
Prussia invades. It's a mess. They wind up putting Paris under siege.
Oh.
It's bad.
My Paris.
There's a month of January, I think it's January 1871, where Paris is shelled every day for the entirety of January.
Yeah.
And it's hundreds of shells every day.
Yeah.
It's not great. Things are not going well.
No. That's not how they thought that would work out for them.
No. And the whole point of the war was Napoleon III's sort of attempt to reestablish their position as a military superpower.
Yeah.
Kind of to make France great again, if you will. Because they felt their position slipping out of their hands as like the European nation you had to contend with.
Well, they had their turn.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And so they started a pointless war that they couldn't win.
You know, you're not going to believe this, but that really strikes a chord with me.
Does it?
Yeah. You know, I feel that I can relate to that.
Huh.
On quite a few levels.
That's so strange.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, but, you know, I'm invested now.
1870s France is so far away. And so unrelatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't imagine starting a dumb fucking war for no fucking reason because someone else made you do it.
That's weird.
What's that like?
Being needled into a conflict by a objectively smaller but heavily militarized country.
Yeah.
In order to cement their own alliances and to make their own bid for power.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Completely novel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in the middle of all of this,
an
aspiring writer named Guy de Maupassant is basically drafted out of law school.
Uh-oh.
And luckily for him, never really sees much action. There's a point where he is almost captured, apparently, but mostly he winds up doing like desk work.
Okay.
And it is also important to remember this war was very short. It began in 1870 and ended in 1871.
Yeah, I mean, good for them, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Guy winds up writing about the war and the war period pretty extensively over the rest of his literary career, because despite being sort of chronologically fairly short, it has an outsized impact, as you can imagine, on the national imagination.
Yeah. Like, oh no, we're not jocks. We're the nerds.
Yeah. And it leaves France in a confused emotional state, shall we say.
Yeah.
Especially because ultimately the nascent Third Republic surrenders against popular opinion, but because they had no other fucking choice.
Yeah.
Some territory is lost. They get just sort of embarrassed on the national stage. It ignites a period of intense nationalism and like rabid anti-Prussian and anti-German sentiment.
Cool. Cool. Yeah.
Things that are going to like echo all the way down the track to like the Dreyfus affair, and then later to like almost to the beginnings of World War I, right? Like this is one of those small conflicts that has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
That lasts.
Yeah.
And so today we're going to read one of Guy de Maupassant's most famous short stories, which is set in the Prussian occupation of Rouen. Rouen. I need to apologize right now for the fact that I am going to accidentally pronounce the final letters of things that I shouldn't, and I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Just say ruin.
Ruin.
It's fine.
Oh my God.
Did he mostly write short stories, or did he do full-length, like, novels as well?
He wrote a couple of novels, but he is remembered as, like, one of the great masters of the short story.
Ooh, cool.
Like, he is a short fiction writer at heart.
Cool.
He was a journalist. He wrote short stories. He wrote a few novels. You can see the traces of his journalism in some of his more, like, horror fiction. You can kind of see that he's got this, like, sensationalized, you know, like you can see the traces of the, like, 1800s and super sensationalist journalism in some of his, like, more horror fiction. And there are a couple of horror stories that he did that I think we will wind up covering on the show, including one that is also set during the Franco-Prussian War.
Very cool.
But I thought we would start with Boule de Suif, in part because it is the short story that made him famous. Okay. He was one of those writers where, like, he published this one thing and it rocketed him. Like, it just, his career blew up.
Yeah.
And in part because
it was Boule de Suif. Boule de Suif.
And in part because I really, really like this story. I think it is one of those stories that is just so unfortunately timeless.
Yeah, cool. Another one of those.
Yeah.
Great. No, I love it.
And yeah, I'm excited to see what you think.
Yes.
And so,
can I ask real quick?
Oh yeah, please.
What does Boule de Suif mean?
I'm so glad you asked.
I think of a boule like a bread boule.
So Boule de Suif,
not bread bowl. I know it's not that. Like a loaf.
It translates to ball of tallow.
Okay.
Or ball of fat.
Okay.
But
say no more.
if you are trying, what it refers to is a woman's tits.
Oh.
And
shouldn't it be boules then?
Well, it's sort of, it's like her whole chest.
She's got the loaf boob on. She's
area.
She's wearing a sports bra.
So a lot of the time it gets, if you like sort of trying to translate the concept rather than like the literal words.
Okay.
It gets translated into English. Most often I've seen it translated as dumpling.
Okay.
If you can.
Was it kind of a vulgar way of referring to boobs, or?
You know, well, and I don't think it refers exclusively to her like
also her butt.
Yeah, it's the impression I get is that it's like somewhere between a like kind of pervy joke and an endearment, which I think is why dumpling is what it gets translated as.
Yeah.
Most often is just like something round,
thickums,
and edible.
Yeah.
And sexy but endearing.
Cake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cake pop.
Cake pop. Yeah. Make it, ass, but make it cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Ready.
All right. So, Boule de Suif.
Cake pop.
Cake pop. Dumpling.
Dumpling.
For several days in succession, fragments of a defeated army had passed through the town. They were mere disorganized bands, not disciplined forces. The men had long, dirty beards and tattered uniforms, and they advanced in listless fashion, without a flag, without a leader. All seemed exhausted, worn out, incapable of thought or resolve, marching onward merely by force of habit, and dropping to the ground with fatigue the moment they halted. One saw, in particular, many enlisted men, peaceful citizens, Men who lived quietly on their income, bending beneath the weight of their rifles. And little active volunteers, easily frightened but full of enthusiasm, as eager to attack as they were ready to take flight. And amid these, a sprinkling of red-breeched soldiers, the pitiful remnant of a division cut down in a great battle. So we are at the point in the war where, and this happened again like fairly quickly, where almost all of France's professional soldiery were killed or captured like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And replaced with sort of soldiers that they drafted or drummed up in like volunteer units.
Yeah.
And so we're in Rouen, and what is happening is the remnants of these armies are coming streaming back from the fighting.
Yeah.
Ahead of the Prussians, right? So
Ooh.
if they're coming streaming back, then you know things are not good.
Yeah.
So, they're coming through, which means the Prussians are behind them, and the Prussians are about to enter Rouen.
Oh, no.
And it says, the members of the National Guard, who for the past 2 months had been reconnoitering with the utmost caution in the neighboring woods, occasionally shooting their own sentinels and making ready for fight whenever a rabbit rustled in the undergrowth, had now returned to their homes. Their arms, their uniforms, all the death-dealing paraphernalia with which they had terrified every milestone all along the high road for 8 miles around, had suddenly and marvelously disappeared. So the Prussians are coming, and the National Guard have vanished.
Yeah. But they were acting like big tough guys beforehand, terrorizing everything.
Uh-huh.
They're like, oh, I actually have to go.
Yeah. And so, the last of the army sweeps by, the National Guard disappear, and it says that a profound calm, a shuddering, silent dread settled on the city. Many a round-paunched citizen, emasculated by years devoted to business, anxiously awaited the conquerors, trembling.
So there's still people there.
All of the civilians.
They didn't tell them to get out?
Where are they going to go?
The next village? I don't know. I don't know.
It would help to explain at this juncture that Rouen is a city.
Okay.
Like a pretty big one.
Yeah.
It has been at various junctures like the capital of Normandy.
Okay.
So this is not like a small town.
And the military just passes through as being like, good luck.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
you guys are German now.
Yeah. And it says the round-paunched citizens, emasculated by years devoted to business, anxiously...
That's ouch, by the way. To throw that in.
Anxiously awaited the conquerors, trembling lest his roasting jacks or kitchen knives should be looked upon as weapons. And so in advance of this Prussian advance, like basically everything shuts down, right? Everyone goes inside. Everyone, like the shutters are closed.
Maybe if I close the windows, they won't come in.
Yeah. The businesses close. It's the whole, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
And the Prussians come in, and it says, that orders shouted in an unknown guttural tongue rose to the windows of the seemingly dead, deserted houses, while behind the fast-closed shutters, eager eyes peered forth at the victors, masters now of the city, its fortune, and its lives, by rights of war. The inhabitants, in their darkened rooms, were possessed by that terror which follows in the wake of cataclysms, of deadly upheavals of the earth, against which all human skill and strength are vain. For the same thing happens whenever the established order of things is upset, when security no longer exists, when all those rights usually protected by the law of man or of nature are at the mercy of unreasoning, savage force. The earthquake crushing a whole nation under falling roofs, the flood let loose and engulfing in its swirling depths the corpses of drowned peasants, along with dead oxen and beams torn from shattered houses, or the army covered with glory, murdering those who defend themselves, making prisoners of the rest, pillaging in the name of the sword, and giving thanks to God to the thunder of the cannon. All these are appalling scourges, which destroy belief in eternal justice, all that confidence we have been taught to feel in the protection of heaven and the reason of man.
That's a very good description.
So, everything has been upended in Rouen.
Yeah.
And the Prussians come in, and as is standard practice in this era, the Prussians quarter themselves in the homes of the citizens of Rouen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this is he describes sort of this flood of men who then scatter into the city, knocking on doors and disappearing into people's homes.
Mm. Food move. This is my bed now.
And he says that after a short time, calm is restored, and that the Prussian officers in many houses eat at the table with the family, and after all, they're well bred and polite enough.
Yeah.
And de Maupassant moves sort of into the perspective of the citizens of Rouen. It says that by the exercise of tact, the number of men quartered in one's house might be reduced. And why should one provoke the hostility of a person on whom one's whole welfare depended? Such conduct would savor less of bravery than of foolhardiness. And foolhardiness is no longer a failing of the citizens of Rouen, as it was in the days when their city earned renown by its heroic defenses. And what he walks through is kind of this idea that it would be foolish, to resist or to fight back. And you might as well just
we don't do that anymore.
You might as well just let it happen. And if people are getting more and more friendly with the Prussian officers quartered in their house, well, they're doing it behind closed doors.
Yeah. Is he suggesting sex?
Not quite, but also not.
Yeah. Who knows what's going on? Did he say that you might get fewer soldiers in your house if you're polite, if you're chill?
Yeah. Maybe you get one officer instead of, that kind of. So what he's saying essentially is that especially the sort of upper citizens of Rouen are playing ball with this occupying government, right? They're cooperating.
Yeah.
Which is not terribly patriotic of them.
Well,
or principled, really.
Why don't you put yourself in the same position and see what you do?
And it says, the conquerors exacted money, much money. The inhabitants paid what was asked. They were rich. But the wealthier a Norman tradesman becomes, the more he suffers at having to part with anything that belongs to him, at having to see any portion of his substance pass into the hands of another. So things go back to a sort of new normal.
Yeah.
Although it is noted that within 6 or 7 miles of the town, along the course of the river, boatmen and fishermen often hold to the surface of the water the body of a German, bloated in his uniform, killed by a blow from knife or club, his head crushed by a stone, or perchance pushed from some bridge into the stream below. The mud of the riverbed swallowed up these obscure acts of vengeance, savage, yet legitimate, these unrecorded deeds of bravery, these silent attacks fraught with greater danger than battles fought in broad day, and surrounded, moreover, with no halo of romance. For hatred of the foreigner ever arms a few intrepid souls, ready to die for an ideal.
So not everybody's playing ball.
Not everybody's playing ball. The implication here is that it is especially the middle class who are playing ball, right? They are, because for them, what they want is for things to go back to normal. That is their chief.
Yeah.
That is their chief priority. But it is also, yes, I think there is an extent to which the story agrees with you a little bit insofar as what do you expect them to do. But also, it's important not to forget what would be glaringly obvious to anyone reading this story in the time in which it was published, which is that all of these Prussians have just come back from murdering thousands of these people's sons
Yeah.
and brothers and husbands. They're not showing up out of the blue. They're showing up with like the blood of Frenchmen on their hands.
Yeah. True.
And no matter how polite they may be, they are an occupying army.
Yeah.
Despite this, though, at least for the middle classes, we're told that things are starting to go back to normal and business needs doing. Because business always needs doing.
Yeah, I'm a businessman. I gotta do my business.
It says, the necessities of business again animated the breasts of the local merchants. And several of them...
Stonks.
Who have... Stonks, yes. They need to go check on their stonks.
Yeah.
In a different French city that is actually currently occupied by the French army. But because they have played ball, because they have been such good little boys and girls... they get permission from the occupying Prussians to travel from Rouen to...
Say it.
Le Havre?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know how to say that either.
Havre?
Yeah. I thought that was a neighborhood in Paris.
Havre. Okay.
Le Havre.
So... I don't even remember where I went off.
They got permission.
Yes. So they've been given permits to travel through this sort of occupied territory to unoccupied territory. That is kind of the important part.
Ooh, that seems risky on the Prussians' part.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's risky for everyone involved, I think.
True.
And again, I think we are meant to understand that there was probably no small amount of like bribery involved.
Money.
And so at 4:30 in the morning, the 10 travelers who have managed to get permits have all gathered for a coach that is going to take them into the unoccupied territory.
I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
It's a great time. Yeah. That's the rest of the story. It's just them having a really nice trip
there, and then they came back.
The end.
Yeah.
And it says. See, where should I start? They were still half asleep and shivered with cold under their wraps. They could see one another but indistinctly in the darkness, and the mountain of heavy winter wraps in which each was swathed made them look like a gathering of obese priests in their long cassocks. But 2 men recognized each other, a third accosted them, and the 3 began to talk. "I am bringing my wife," said one. "So am I. And I too." The first speaker added, We shall not return to Rouen, and if the Prussians approach, we will cross to England." All 3, it turned out, had made the same plans, being of similar disposition and temperament. So these men they have money, and their plan is to get to unoccupied France and then to abandon France entirely.
Yeah.
Right. If Prussia continues to press forward. They're like, we're going to take our stuff and we're just going to dip.
That sounds like rich people, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's snowing and we're going to yada yada through a lot of it because we have to in this podcast a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But even in translation, de Maupassant does have some like really lovely passages of description, really setting the mood and the snow and just he writes a lot of stories set in Normandy, and it's a place that he loved very much on like the natural and just like the physical, the environment of Normandy. And he loves to like take a minute to really sit with it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. But so they're waiting in the cold, and it's funny. The driver basically is in the process of putting the horses. So he like brings one horse out and hitches it, and they're all standing around in the snow. And he's like, "You can get in the fucking. You don't have to stand in the cold. Like you guys can get in the carriage.
Yeah.
Even though there's not a."
They're like, "Oh, okay."
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
They're just like, "Oh, yeah." he points out that it like did not occur to them.
Yeah.
Well, so they all climb in, and the vehicle starts to move, and it's moving very, very slowly because of the snow,
right.
which is, getting heavier and lighter. And as the sun comes up, the passengers begin to eye each other. And we find out who are all in this coach. It says, right at the back, in the best seats of all, Monsieur and Madame Loiseau, wholesale wine merchants of the Rue Grand Pont, slumbered opposite each other. Formerly clerk to a merchant who had failed in business, Loiseau had bought his master's interest and made a fortune for himself. He sold very bad wine at a very low price to the retail dealers in the country.
Hell yeah.
And had a reputation, among his friends and acquaintances, of being a shrewd rascal, a true Norman, full of quips and wiles. So well established was his character as a cheat that, in the mouths of the citizens of Rouen, the very name of Loiseau became a byword for sharp practice. And it says that he's also very fond of, practical jokes.
Oh, no.
And that he's undersized, pot-bellied, and has a florid face with grayish whiskers. And his wife is denoted as representing the spirit of order and arithmetic in the business house.
Okay.
So that's...
I hope somebody describes me that way someday.
The spirit of order and arithmetic?
Yeah, in the business house.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Beside them, dignified in bearing, belonging to a superior caste, sat Monsieur Carré Lamadon, a man of considerable importance, a king in the cotton trade, proprietor of 3 spinning mills, officer of the Legion of Honor, and member of the General Council. During the whole time the empire was in the ascendancy, he remained the chief of the well-disposed opposition, merely in order to command a higher value for his devotion when he should rally to the cause, which he meanwhile opposed with courteous weapons, to use his own expression. His wife, much younger, it says, was the consolation of all the officers of good family quartered at Rouen. Pretty, slender, graceful, she sat opposite her husband, curled up in her furs, and gazing mournfully at the sorry interior of the coach. Did you catch the implication that he's making there?
Which one?
That she's the consolation of all the officers of good family quartered at Rouen?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure if that meant that they just liked looking at her or that she was keeping them company.
I think we are invited to wonder.
Yeah. I mean, she's that much younger. She's kind of keeping her husband company too.
Yeah.
You know?
And she seems pretty bummed to be leaving.
Ah. Oh, sorry, girl.
Yeah, when he says the officers, he means the Prussian officers.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Yeah. So, bummer for Madame Carré Lamadon.
Party's over.
Party's over. Next to them are the Comte and Comtesse Hubert de Breville, who are of one of the noblest and most ancient names in Normandy.
Ooh.
The Count, a nobleman advanced in years and of aristocratic bearing, strove to enhance, by every artifice possible, his natural resemblance to King Henry IV, who, according to a legend of which the family were inordinately proud, had been the favoured lover of a de Breville lady, and father of her child, the frail one's husband having, in recognition of this fact, been made a count and governor of a province.
The king, your grandma, here, have this land.
Pretty much. The Count is a colleague of Monsieur Carré Lamadon and represented the Orleanist party in his department. The story of his marriage with the daughter of a small shipowner at Nantes had always remained more or less a mystery. But as the Countess had an air of unmistakable breeding, entertained faultlessly, and was even supposed to have been loved by a son of Louis Philippe, the nobility vied with one another in doing her honor, and her drawing-room remained the most exclusive in the whole countryside, the only one which retained the old spirit of gallantry, and to which access was not easy. Their income, it was said, amounted to 500,000 francs a year.
Wow.
These 6 people occupied the farther end of the coach and represented society with means. The strong, established society of good people with religion and principle.
Yeah. And they're piecing the fuck out.
And it says that all the women are seated on one side.
Right.
And next to them are actually two more women, nuns, who spent the time in
They don't count.
They don't. Who spent the time in fingering their long rosaries and murmuring paternosters and aves. One of them was old and so deeply pitted with smallpox that she looked for all the world as if she had received a charge of shot full in the face.
Oh my God.
The other, of sickly appearance, had a pretty but wasted countenance and a narrow, consumptive chest, sapped by that devouring faith which is the making of martyrs and visionaries.
How can you tell if a nun in the middle of winter has a narrow chest? What gives that physical detail away?
It's a good question.
Sorry, that took me out of it a little. I was like, you can't tell.
She's just frail looking.
Okay.
She
frail.
She just looks like a little bird.
Yeah.
Like a sad little bird.
Yeah.
She does not say a single word for the rest of the story.
Okay.
Just imagine her as like a quiet prop.
Yeah.
You know? And so, you know, we've got these extremely respectable
Yes.
three couples.
Yes.
Two nuns. And then there are two more people in the...
Okay.
Two more.
I was told repeatedly there were 6 people.
6 important people.
Yeah, 6 real people.
2 nuns.
Yeah.
Who are props.
Yeah.
And then 2 fucking losers. No. A man and a woman comprise the last 2 of the party. And it says, the man, a well-known character, was Cornudet, the Democrat, the terror of all conservative people. For the past 20 years, his big red beard had been on terms of intimate acquaintance with the tankards of all the Republican cafes. With the help of his comrades and brethren, he had dissipated a respectable fortune left to him by his father, an old established confectioner, and he now impatiently awaited the Republic, that he might at last be rewarded with the post he had earned by his revolutionary orgies. So he is painted as kind of a pleasant enough. Like, he's not a bad guy. He says a good sort of fellow in other respects. Inoffensive and obliging. He's a Republican. He's sort of painted as like a dirtbag leftist.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
It's like a party guy.
He's a party guy.
Yeah.
He likes to talk at length about his big principles, and he also likes to drink quite heavily.
Yeah.
And it says that he had thrown himself zealously into the work of making an organized defense of the town. So you remember the National Guard that disappeared earlier?
Yeah.
He was one of them.
Oh. Okay.
It says that he had had pits dug and traps set on all the roads. And then at the approach of the enemy, thoroughly satisfied with his own preparations, he had hastily returned to the town.
It's like, good job.
He thought he might now do more good at Le Havre,
Yeah.
where new entrenchments would soon be necessary.
Yeah, they're going to need your help.
They're
They're going to know what to do.
Yeah, so you got to get the f out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Live to fight another day.
I got to share my knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And finally, the last woman in the carriage.
Who is she?
The woman who belonged to the courtesan class.
Ooh.
Was distinguished for an embonpoint unusual for her age, which had earned for her the sobriquet of Boule de Suif. Short and round, fat as a pig, with puffy fingers constricted at the joints, looking like rows of short sausages, and with a shiny, tightly stretched skin and an enormous bust filling out the bodice of her dress. She was attractive and much sought after, owing to her fresh and pleasing appearance. Her face was like a crimson apple, a peony bud just bursting into bloom. She had magnificent dark eyes, fringed with thick, heavy lashes, which cast a shadow into their depths. Her mouth was small, ripe, kissable, and was furnished with the tiniest of white teeth. I love reading fiction set in an era where it's like, she's so fat and it's so hot.
Yeah. She's fat with small teeth, and she is sexy as hell. Everybody loves her.
Just luscious.
You cannot get enough.
I'm imagining, the first time I read this story, I immediately imagined Nicola Coughlan.
Oh, yeah.
For, like, in Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Just
juicy.
Just curves for days.
Yeah.
And just perfect tits.
Mm-hmm.
Just perfect, beautiful tits.
Boule de Suif.
Yes.
Yeah.
AKA dumpling.
Dumpling. Yeah. I like her.
Yeah, she's great. And of course, as soon as they recognize her, the respectable ladies
are like, poo-poo.
Yes, they all start like whispering amongst themselves, not at all subtly.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that after they sort of for a little while, it says that they decided they ought to combine, as it were, in their dignity as wives in face of this shameless hussy. For legitimized love always despises its easygoing brother.
Mm-hmm.
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 And the three respectable men, likewise, are brought together.
That's a really good turn of phrase. Sorry, I can't get it. The legitimized love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legitimized love always despises its easygoing brother.
That's stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go on.
No, it's I pulled that line out for a reason. It's a good one. And so it says that the three men similarly are aligned by
I don't know her.
No, by a certain conservative instinct awakened by the presence of Cornudet, that they spoke of money matters in a tone expressive of contempt for the poor.
Mm.
So they're like, ew, this leftist is in our coach.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
The Count related the losses he had sustained at the hands of the Prussians, spoke of the cattle that had been stolen, the crops that had been ruined, with the easy manner of a nobleman who was also a tenfold millionaire, and whom such reverses would scarcely inconvenience for a single year.
Mm-hmm.
Monsieur Carré-Lamadon, a man of wide experience in the cotton industry, had taken care to send 600,000 francs to England as provision against the rainy day he was always anticipating. As for Loiseau, he had managed to sell to the French Commissariat Department all the wine he had in stock, so that the state now owed him a considerable sum.
Mm.
All three eyed one another in friendly, well-disposed fashion. Although of varying social status, they were united in the brotherhood of money, in that vast Freemasonry made up of those who possess, who can jingle gold whenever they choose to put their hands in their pockets. And so the social lines in the coach have been drawn.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We've got three rich dudes.
Yeah.
Three rich dudes' respectable wives.
Uh-huh.
Even if one of them is maybe not.
Yeah. Respectable in name. Yeah.
And then we've got the dirtbag leftist.
Uh-huh.
And the courtesan.
And the sexy lady.
The sexy lady.
Yeah.
And we're off in our coach.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? It's a road trip movie.
Yeah.
We're all going to become best friends.
Best friends as we flee the city. How did the dirtbag leftist and the courtesan get in? Oh yeah, don't forget the nuns.
Oh, and the nuns. I am going
you
to
forgot the nuns.
I am constantly forgetting the nuns.
Do we find out how they got?
We don't
get their way into it.
We don't.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
And so you can see what he's doing here, right? He set up kind of it's a microcosm of French society.
Mm-hmm.
The church, the wealthy merchant, the landed gentry, the wealthy merchant class.
Yeah.
And then the working class.
Yeah.
Ish. One could argue that Boule de Suif is the only real working class person.
Because the other guy, his dad left him a bunch of money and he just spent all of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But, he believes in the Republic.
Sure.
And so what happens is they're on the road. The snow is very deep. They are making very poor time. There's like a specific town that they're hoping to get to have lunch. They are still hours away. The coach actually founders in the snow and comes off the road and has to get put back, and that takes 2 hours.
The poor horses.
And none of them have any food with them.
Oh.
Yes.
You can pack a snack.
And it's been basically a whole day.
Yeah.
The men at various points try to try to knock on the doors of like a couple of houses and things that they pass, but no one will give them anything. Everyone has hidden all of their food because, of course, this is occupied territory, right?
Yeah.
And it's been hours and hours.
Yeah.
And it notes that a couple of times Boule de Suif like leans down and kind of checks on something like under her skirts and then kind of sits back up again just quietly. Like she doesn't really say anything.
Does she have a small dog under there?
And finally, at about 3:00, and like they're ravenous. Like all of these people they're dying of it. They left at 4:30 in the morning. It is 3:00 in the afternoon. No one has eaten.
Yeah.
The Republican Cornudet does have a bottle of rum that he like sort of offers around, and only Loiseau, the crooked wine merchant, will accept it because again we've lines have been drawn.
Yeah.
But finally, at 3:00, as they were in the midst of an apparently limitless plain with not a single village in sight, Boule de Suif stooped quickly and drew from underneath the seat a large basket covered with a white napkin. And it turns out she has just a ton of food.
I mean, someone's got to bring food. Why would you not bring food? Why would you not bring snacks? Good for her.
Well, I think part of it, right, is that these are rich people.
Yeah.
Who are used to being waited on, right? They're used to other people anticipating their needs.
Yeah.
And also I think there is a sumptuousness in the foods that she has with her. I think there's de Maupassant, I think, is definitely playing a little bit with that element of it.
Yeah.
Because he describes everything that comes out of her basket in loving detail.
Yeah.
The first things that she pulls out, to be clear, this basket is it like borders on the magical. Like the amount of stuff that comes out of it just gets silly at a certain point.
Yeah.
But first she extracts a small earthenware plate and silver drinking cup. Then an enormous dish containing 2 whole chickens cut into joints and embedded in jelly.
Oh.
The basket was seen to contain other good things: pies, fruit, dainties of all sorts, provisions, in fine, for a 3-day journey, rendering their owner independent of wayside inns.
Smart.
The necks of 4 bottles protruded from among the food. She took a chicken wing and began to eat it daintily.
This basket would be huge.
Yes. And of course, everyone is staring at her.
Yeah. She's like, what?
It says, the scorn of the ladies for this disreputable female grew positively ferocious. They would have liked to kill her, or throw her and her drinking cup, her basket, and her provisions out of the coach and into the snow of the road below.
You gotta throw the food out.
Right. And of course, it's Loiseau, the crooked wine merchant, who...
It's like, hey.
Uh-huh. He says, well, this lady has forethought more than the rest of us. Some people think of everything. And she looks, and so he's addressed her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she looks up immediately and says, would you like some, sir? It is hard to go on fasting all day. And he replies, upon my soul, I can't refuse. I cannot hold out another minute. All is fair in wartime, is it not, madame? And, casting a glance on those around, he added, at times like this, it is very pleasant to meet with obliging people. And you notice that, like, he's the bottom rung of the upper chunk, right? And
he's got money but no class.
And he's the first one to be like, yeah, I'll eat your chicken. Like, I'm...
Also, just thinking about having, like, 2 whole roasted chickens under your skirt, like, the aroma of that, and, like, pies and stuff, and it's like, you'd be... like 12 hours you would smell this like feast and just be like, I wonder where that smell's coming from. Like, that shit is like so aromatic.
Maybe it was a very heavy napkin, you know?
Yeah. Clearly.
And so he helps himself, and then she sort of humbly, almost beseechingly invites the nuns to have some. Mm-hmm. And they accept immediately. The nuns are not too good for this shit.
Yeah.
They're and
like, God love the hose.
Cornudet, Cornudet? It might be Cornudet. No, Cornudet. He also accepts basically immediately.
The rest of you guys are just hungry. How's it feel?
And they start eating.
Yeah.
And it says, mouths kept opening and shutting, ferociously masticating and devouring the food. Loiseau, in his corner, was hard at work and in low tones urged his wife to follow his example. She held out for a long time, but overstrained nature gave way at last. And so he asks Boule de Suif if his wife might have a little. And every time someone asks, she's just like, yeah, of course.
She's very nice.
She is.
Yeah.
The wine gets opened and passed around.
Yeah.
It notes that there's a little bit of awkwardness because there's only one drinking cup, which means they have to share a cup with, like, ew, icky, you know?
Yeah.
But they wipe it off.
Just pour it.
They wipe the cup off.
Yeah.
It says that
one nun has.
That's not. So to be clear, it's not icky because germ theory. It's icky because she's a courtesan.
Class.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a class icky, not a germ. They don't give a shit about germs. They're not worried about that. And it says that Cornudet is the only one who doesn't like super conspicuously like wipe the rim off.
He's like, that's fine.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty much. A little class solidarity there.
Yeah.
And finally, so the Count and the Countess and Monsieur and Madame Carl-Lamadon are holding out. They have not eaten yet.
Yeah. Who you hurting? Yourselves.
Pretty much. Until finally, Madame Carl-Lamadon, the manufacturer's wife, it is implied,
Is that the young one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretends to faint.
Yeah.
It says she faints, but it's kind of implied that she is pretending to faint.
Yeah. I can only be revived with chicken.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So everyone's like, "Oh no!" And one of the nuns like tips a little wine into her mouth and is like, "It's hunger that's making you faint."
If you think so.
And after she's revived, it says, then Boule de Suif, blushing and embarrassed, stammered, looking at the 4 passengers who were still fasting, "If I might offer these ladies and gentlemen." She stopped short, fearing a snub. But Loiseau continued, "Hang it all! In such a case as this, we are all brothers and sisters, and ought to help each other. Come, come, ladies, don't stand on ceremony, for goodness' sake. Do we even know whether we shall find a house in which to pass the night? At our present rate of going, we shan't be at Tote till midday tomorrow." They hesitated, no one daring to be the first to accept. But the Count settled the question. He turned towards the abashed girl, and in his most distinguished manner said, "We accept gracefully, madame."
Gracefully. Just because you say that doesn't make it true, but okay.
And so they tuck in, and once, I mean, a brief list of foods that come out of this marvelous basket.
Yeah, please.
Pâté de foie gras, lark pie, smoked tongue, croissant pears, pont d'évêque gingerbread, fancy cakes, pickled gherkins, onions.
Be like, I'll share my food with you. You can only have the onions.
And so they're all sitting there. They empty the basket. Like they eat everything she has.
That's probably smart.
And as is natural, because they're all eating together, conversation starts, right? They all start chatting with each other as if they're equals, essentially. And, they talk about the war. They talk about, terrible stories about the Prussians, deeds of bravery on the part of the French. And eventually, Boule de Suif winds up explaining why she is in this coach.
Huh.
And it says, "I thought at first that I should be able to stay in Rouen. My house was well stocked with provisions, and it seemed better to put up with feeding a few soldiers than to banish myself goodness knows where. But when I saw these Prussians, it was too much for me. My blood boiled with rage. I wept the whole day for very shame. If only I had been a man. I looked at them from my window, the fat hogs with their pointed helmets, and my maid held my hands to keep me from throwing my furniture down on them. Then some of them were quartered on me. I flew at the throat of the first one who entered. They are just as easy to strangle as other men.
Hell yeah.
And I'd have been the death of that one if I hadn't been dragged away from him by my hair. I had to hide after that. And as soon as I could get an opportunity, I left the place. And here I am." So she's a bad bitch.
Yeah.
She's just like, "F that.
Good for you, girl.
And it says that she rose in the estimation of her companions who had not been so brave.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, me too. Similar story.
And it says that Cornudet listened to her with the approving and benevolent smile of an apostle, the smile a priest might wear in listening to a devotee praising God. For long-bearded Democrats of his type have a monopoly of patriotism, just as priests have a monopoly of religion.
Yes.
He held forth in turn, with dogmatic self-assurance, in the style of the proclamations daily pasted on the walls of the town, winding up with a specimen of stump oratory in which he reviled that besotted fool Louis Napoleon. But Boule de Suif was indignant, for she was an ardent Bonapartist. And so she lashes out at him too, basically being like, I'd like to see you run a country.
Yeah.
And so you can see where de Maupassant is situating her, right? She is definitionally the working class, but she's not a dirtbag leftist. She's a Bonapartist. And in his mind, and in the story's mind, that makes her good, right? She's respectable. We've encountered this on the podcast before, which is de Maupassant is one of these writers who sees that it is very much like Dickens, right? He sees that society is unjust and he wants it to be more just, but that does not mean he wants it taken apart at the seams.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he's positioning her as a little bit of an ideal.
Yeah.
She's not a Republican. She's a Bonapartist.
Yeah.
But she is the working class and she's patriotic.
She's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she is, most importantly, deeply, deeply patriotic.
Yeah. Vive la France.
Exactly. And so she snaps at him and he's unmoved. And it is implied, maybe the story is also willing to indulge in the idea that maybe she is a little bit acting against her own interests and maybe he knows that too. You know what I mean?
That was kind of my first thought. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this narrative is really trying to thread that needle.
Yeah, and maybe that was something that contemporary readers weren't ready to talk about that.
Well, I think they were. It's more a question of like they're both a little bit wrong and they're both a little bit right.
Yeah,
I would say in the story's perspective.
Yeah.
They finish the food. The conversation kind of wanes once there's not food anymore.
They're like, "Oh, that's right. Ew."
And finally, they make it to an inn.
Okay.
And at the inn, they are immediately intercepted by a Prussian officer.
Ah, darn.
Who checks their papers.
Yeah.
And Boule de Suif is immediately like furious.
She's like, "Oh, let me at him."
And can barely restrain herself and is like kind of obviously offended at how complacent all of the rich people are, especially.
Yeah.
But nothing much happens. He checks their papers and says like, all right, they order dinner. And they're eating dinner, and the officer's lackey comes in and asks for Mademoiselle Elizabeth Rousset. Boule de Suif started and turned around. And so that's her real name.
Huh.
Elizabeth Rousset.
You mean Dumpling's not a real name?
Wild, right?
That's so cute.
And he says that the Prussian officer has asked for her. And she goes, she's at first she's like, no,
yeah,
I'm not doing that. I don't care. He can fuck off, basically.
Yeah.
But the Count convinces her that she might put all of them in danger by refusing to go see what he wants. And that it's probably just a minor, maybe it's just like a minor mix up with her paperwork kind of thing. Like, just go find out what he wants. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And it says she left the room. All waited for her return before beginning the meal. Each was
nice.
I know, right? There's that residual sort of warmth from the meal they all shared, right?
Yeah.
Each was distressed that he or she had not been sent for, rather than this impulsive, quick-tempered girl. And each mentally rehearsed platitudes in case of being summoned also. At the end of 10 minutes, she reappeared, breathing hard, crimson with indignation. "Oh, the scoundrel! The scoundrel!" she stammered. All were anxious to know what had happened, but she declined to enlighten them, And when the Count pressed the point, she silenced him with much dignity, saying, "No, the matter has nothing to do with you, and I cannot speak of it." And so they...
What could it be?
So dinner is served. They eat. Everyone's... There's... It notes...
Yes. Be a guest. Put our service to the test. Okay.
So we have...
So that happens.
There's a full song and dance number.
That's what happens in every time
a French eats.
people sit down to eat. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's more than two of them.
Yeah.
Like they summon singing and dancing.
The dishes.
Cutlery and a candelabra.
Yeah. And the feather duster is not quite sanitary at the dinner table, but she's so sexy.
She's so...
So she has to be there.
Weirdly erotic subplot for a children's film.
Yeah.
It's me again. That wraps up part 1 of Boule de Suif, and I'll post part 2 in 2 weeks so as to not leave you hanging for a million years. I hope you will join us then. And in the meantime, if you can, this week, this month, this pay period, consider supporting a living author, because they could really, really use the love. Bye. Didn't Read It was created, written, researched, and recorded by me, Grace Todd. Maddie Wood is our co-producer and social media maven. Our theme song is Books 2.0, written, performed, and recorded by William Albritton. Our logo was designed and illustrated by the incredibly talented Jess Versus. Special thanks to Black Iris Social Club in Richmond, Virginia. Reach out to us with questions, concerns, or academic scrutiny at didn'treaditpod@gmail.com.